Welcome back to the botany class. Dear students, today we are continuing unit number 1, diversity of living world, in which chapter 1, living world. In the previous class we started viruses and we discussed milestones of virology. In this class we are going to continue characteristic features of viruses and viral genome. Characteristics of viruses. Viruses which possess both the living character as well as non-living character children. Keep remember, virus can multiply and cause disease only in the host cell. Whereas when they come out from any living cell or host cell, it becomes inactive, shows non-living character alone. So what is the property of a living character in viruses? Presence of nucleic acids, DNA or RNA, protein or capsid, protein code or capsid. Viruses are undergoes mutation in general children because they have a genetic material. They have a ability to multiply within the living cell. Hence it is called the intracellular parasites. When they multiply in the host cell or parasitic cell, it can infect and cause diseases. Say for example, tobacco mosaic virus infects tobacco leaves. HIV infects human cause AIDS. The very good example coronavirus, which lives only inside the host cell. It cannot survive outside for a long time. It shows irritability. It does mean response to various stimuli. And host specific. There are some viruses which infects only a particular host or a parasite. HIV can infect only human being. Tobacco mosaic virus infects tobacco plant. There is one virus called bunchy top virus which infects only banana plant. So viruses are very specific in their host. A particular host or parasite is there, it can infect. The non-living character. Once they comes out from the living cells, they can be crystallized. So viruses can be crystallized. They do not have any metabolic machineries such as chloroplast, mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum, ribosomes, lysosomes like that. So no cytoplasmic organelles, no nucleus. It can be live only in the host. So when they comes out, the host they become inactive. Do not have any functional autonomy. That means it cannot live alone. Energy producing enzymes, respiratory enzymes are not available. That is absent because there is no mitochondria. Okay, it's very important question. Living and non-living characters of viruses. Next, classification of viruses. How will you classify virus? Viruses are classified into different types. First, based on the genetic material. Second, based on the symmetry. Third, based on the nature of infecting the host, which host they lives or which host it infects. Based on the size. Okay, you are seeing different types of viruses from which you can understand that they are not similar. Ebola virus, rod shaped. Okay, rhinovirus, which cause common cold, adenovirus, poliovirus, which cause polio disease. The name of the virus is called poliomyelitis. Herpes simplex virus, vaccinia virus or cowpox, influenza viruses, T4 bacteriophage, tobacco mosaic virus. What you can understand from this picture, viruses not similar in their structure as well as their size. They are differ from one another. Different types of classification proposed given by David Baltimore 1971. This classification based on the mechanism of RNA production, the nature of genome. Genome is the genetic material of the virus. Okay, so the viruses may be a RNA containing or DNA containing viruses. RNA generally single stranded, DNA generally double stranded. Clear? RNA or DNA containing. Some of the viruses, they have a reverse transcriptase enzyme in it. Example, HIV. HIV is a enveloped virus. There is a envelope which protects the nucleic acid. The nucleic acid of HIV is called 2 single stranded RNA molecule with the reverse transcriptase. So the reverse transcriptase may be present. Single stranded RNA may be positive sense or negative, or also called as antisense. Viruses are classified into 7 different classes, which I show it to you. Viruses with DS. D means double, S means strand, thread like structure. Double stranded DNA, adenoviruses. Viruses with positive sense, single stranded DNA, parvovirus. Viruses with double stranded RNA, very rare, reovirus. Viruses with positive sense, single stranded, toga virus. Viruses with negative sense, but it is having single stranded RNA, rhabdovirus. Keep remember rhabdovirus, which cause rabies disease in human. Rhabdo means bullet shape. And viruses with viruses with single stranded positive sense RNA with RT, reverse transcriptase. Retroviruses. Keep remember retroviruses are group of viruses which commonly infect human being. Example, HIV. Human immunodeficiency virus is a very good example for retroviruses, because these viruses which contain single stranded RNA molecule, due to the reverse transcriptase, it become DNA. Viruses with the double stranded reverse transcriptase, hepatadenovirus, that replicate intermediate in the life cycle. So we will study about these things in higher standard children. Okay, so it's very interesting to you. We are going to continue with the viral genome in next slide. So next slide is viral genome. Okay, so before start that, once again, viruses are classified based on the presence of genetic material and the nature of the genetic material within it. They are classified into 7 classes. Okay, viral genome. Let us know the meaning. Do you have any idea about genome? You studied in 10th standard. Genome means the total genetic material, either DNA or RNA, that present in an organism. Okay, so genome of human, DNA, genome of virus, RNA or DNA, never both. Genome of plants, DNA. So higher organisms, plants and animals, their genome is DNA. It's a double-stranded helical molecule. But viral genome is either DNA or RNA, never both. Never both. So each viruses which made up of or which consists of only one type of nucleic acid, either deoxyribonucleic acid or ribonucleic acid. The nucleic acid which are in different form. Maybe highly coiled structure or in circular form, or maybe linear. Linear means thread-like structure. Circular form means maybe coiled, rounded together. In general, the nucleic acid present as a single unit, but in wound tumor virus and in influenza virus, which is found in segments. That means it break into small segments, partitions maybe. Based on the type of nucleic acid present in the viruses are divided into two groups. DNA containing viruses are called as deoxyviruses. RNA containing viruses are called as riboviruses. So HIV belongs to ribovirus. T4 bacteriophage belongs to deoxyriboviruses. Why? Deoxyriboviruses means genetic material is DNA. Riboviruses means they contain RNA as a genetic material. Example you can give. Majority of the animal and bacterial viruses are DNA viruses. HIV is animal virus, which is an exception, contain RNA, as I told earlier to you. Plant viruses. Most of the plant viruses are RNA, but some of them are exceptions, they contain DNA. Cauliflower mosaic virus, which is caused by cauliflower mosaic virus, which cause a disease in cauliflower called mosaic disease. The virus which contain DNA as a genetic material. So there are some exceptions. All the plant viruses contain RNA as a genetic material, except one or two which contain DNA as a genetic material. Nucleic acids may be single stranded or double stranded. In nature, RNA is a single stranded, DNA is a double stranded. On the basis of nature of nucleic acids, viruses are classified into four categories. Viruses which contain DNA, but it is a single stranded. So viruses with a single stranded DNA, parvoviruses. Viruses which contain double stranded DNA, bacteriophage. Viruses which contain RNA but single stranded RNA, tobacco mosaic virus. Viruses which contain double stranded RNA, wound tumor viruses. These are all some of the examples. So what we discussed from the viral genome, the genetic material of the virus is called a genome. It may be RNA or DNA. The genetic material may be linear or circular form. Some of the viruses where the DNA or RNA is a single unit, some viruses which may be segmented. DNA containing viruses are called deoxyviruses. RNA containing viruses are called as riboviruses. Based on the nature of the genetic material or nucleic acid, the viruses are categorized into four groups. Okay, so you might have understand that what is meant by viral genome now.